Hello, everybody, and welcome to another version of MSATP TV. Joining us today is Jonathan Pocius with Payroll Services, LLC. I'm Bill Feehley, the Executive Director of the Society, and we're going to have Jonathan introduce himself and tell us a little bit about payroll services, and we'll see what's going on over in that end of the world. So, Jonathan?
Great. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me on today. As he said, my name is Jonathan Pocius. I am the founder of Payroll Services, LLC. We are a full-service workforce management company. We've been sponsors of MSA for probably about 8 years now, and we've also been providing payroll services and workforce management services to MSA. Some of the things that we handle really is anything to deal with what we like to call employee headaches, whether it's payroll, time and attendance, benefits, HR, workers' comp. We can solve those issues for you. We work with a lot of accountants, regional, not just in the Maryland area. We service roughly around 600 clients or so right now in all 50 states, and we're about to hit about 18 to 20,000 active employees that we service nationwide.
Oh, very good. So you're like knocking on the doors of ADP now.
Yeah, well, I think we're a little bit far away from that, but yeah, that's our that's where we're going. We are considered a rather larger regional firm in our industry for it. So a lot of other competitors are around about the 100 client size. So we're one of the larger regional firms that offers a full berth of services, which really is different between us and a lot of other providers, is because we have the expertise in all the different areas of workforce management that we tackle for customers, especially with COVID and all these good things going on nowadays.
Sure. Well, we use your payroll services, and I have to say I'm really impressed with the reports that I can get out of there. It's made my life a whole lot easier. Now, you all do like the PPP reporting and things like that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've absolutely been helping a ton of our customers with PPP reporting. It's actually, I think I got some gray hair going because of it now. But yeah, PPP is one of the things that, from March through June, we were slammed with. We were helping all of our customers, and we had accountants from MSA and other areas calling us for guidance on there on how to handle it. Really where we're at, where a lot of people are, is how does the forgiveness reporting going to look like, and what is that process going to be? We're starting to see some action from the banks, where the banks are getting a little antsy. They want to kind of get this done, but we are suspecting that Congress is going to make some changes through our lobbyists. We have a lobbyist, and we get almost daily reports as of right now. They are talking about simplifying the reporting yet again. So that's why a lot of banks are hesitant on even opening up the forgiveness side, because they don't want to have people submit all this stuff and then Congress change it, and then the requirements are now different. So, okay, what our biggest concern right now is that we're so close to the election that Congress is probably not going to do anything, because they don't want to give any side, political powder, if you would call it that. So really my biggest concern is that PPP forgiveness is going to come January 1, where everybody's going to need to submit it. And so it's going to be really crazy, especially because, we're dealing with year end with W-2s, trying to get everything ready for accountants, and then accountants are going to go hot and heavy into tax season. So, that's kind of probably on my radar is the top concerns right now with PPP.
Sure. One thing I wanted to ask you about is when the most recent executive order with the deferment of the FICA taxes. Do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing?
This is a case where it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. What we advise for a private sector, there's risk for the employer doing this, because if the employee leaves, the way the executive order is issued is it's a deferral, it's not a forgiveness. And so the employer would be stuck on the hook. So a lot of our clients are not doing it. We recommend personally not doing it. And if you are going to do it, to make sure you have strict employee loan guidance set up with that employee, for a better terms, so that way if the employee leaves, you can go after them. Where this is really going to get interesting is we also watch what goes on the federal side with the federal employees. All the federal employees were basically mandated to take the deferral. So you're talking about millions of employees already at the federal level that are mandated to take this deferral. So the chances of it being forgiven under a Trump administration, if he gets elected, is pretty high. So you're going to have a lot of employees upset that they lost free money, essentially. Under a Biden administration, we're predicting that it's not going to be forgiven and it is going to be collected. So that's good. So it's really one of those tough situations where this whole year I feel like employers have really been put up against employees because the employer is on the hook for so much right now. This is another case where I really feel that the employer is in a bad position. Even ADP and Paychex have came out and said, hey, we really don't recommend you doing this. However, if you do, here are some guidelines with it. And we do agree with those guidelines with it. This is a very dangerous deferral if an employer takes it.
Okay. As far as year-end reporting and things like that, besides reporting the W-2s and things like that, what other year-end services do you offer for your clients? Bonuses, extra payrolls?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, all that standard stuff. The one that we typically do the most of is 1099 reporting. So, towards the end of the year, we get a bunch of 1099s coming in, things of that nature. But we handle all the year-end typical items, your W-2s, your 940s, W-3s, all of that stuff with it. So all the normal things that you would suspect a payroll company to handle, we do, including the ACA requirements, which again, that one's also up in the air. That one may get knocked down at the Supreme Court coming up soon.
Right. When we look at year-end tax reporting and things like that, a lot of clients are looking for like doing year-end bonuses, maximizing their 401ks, things like that. Do you help the employee to figure out what his maximum deferral is on a 401k?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we do provide reporting so that way individuals can understand where they are at with a year-to-date basis. We do not actively advise anybody. What we typically happens is accountants call us, and then we work with the accountants for projection planning and tax planning purposes. So, if you were to call us, Bill, with some of your customers, maybe you have a couple S Corp owners that need to take extra, pay, but you only want taxes withheld, or you have to report S Corp, shareholder health insurance. So we deal with all of that, and that's really where we start getting busy. So actually, in the next couple of days, we're going to start blasting out our year-end reminders, and we usually blast out these year-end reminders about 4 times a month, all the way up through December.
Okay. Well, very good. So it sounds like you guys are on top of things as far as year-end goes. When we look at payroll services with your company versus an ADP or a Paycheck or whatever, scalability of pricing and things like that, I'm assuming that you're competitive priced out there.
Absolutely. So
information about what we should be looking for with that.
Yeah, so we're absolutely competitive for MSA. Members. One, we do accounting payrolls for free. One of our things is we want the accountant to experience us. We don't want just straight referrals. We want you to actually be able to say, hey, yes, I use these guys. This is a good product. This works well for me. The customer service is great. Our pricing is typically around 15 to 20% less than ADP and Paychecks. Right now, pricing is aggressive all across the industry just because of how sales is working. So, it always changes. What we find, though, is if you have customers with ADP or Paychecks or other large firms that have been with them for several years, the pricing of ADP and Paychecks, I could never charge it. Let's just say that. And so if you have customers that have been with them for a while, they're going to see significant savings. We do there's a couple big things that separate us from ADP and Paychecks with it. One is ADP has the old Workforce Now product. And I like to explain people, ADP is like the granddaddy of payroll, right? They've been around forever. And they've also had the older technologies and things like that. So what we actually find is for your larger customers that are on Workforce Now, we see significant savings and more improvements coming over to our products. Just because Workforce Now is clunky, what we are seeing in the industry is some of the older executives are more in line with ADPs because they're familiar with big names and they're okay with that. The younger executives coming in and the younger people that actually have to do the work are recognizing that the Workforce Now product is not as advantageous as it was. So they're looking for alternatives to that. The one thing that's very different between our model versus many of the other ones, whether it's Paycor, Paycom, and everything, is a lot of these other workforce management companies are really selling technology now, and they really have taken a back burner to the customer service side of it. And I know customer service always is like a cliche marketing term, but it really does become an important thing to look at with it. So we have customers ranging from 1 employee all the way up to 800 employees, and they rely on us to help them as subject matter experts in different areas. Even customers between 100 and 200 employees, they really may not have the infrastructure of having a direct CFO, a director of HR and all those different things. So a lot of times there is one person still wearing multiple hats, even in larger organizations. And they really need our help and guidance to help them with these different things. So really, every single account, whether it's 1 or 1,000, has a dedicated customer service rep that actually helps the customer through the different issues that they're faced with throughout the day. And that's really what does separate us from ADP and Paychex. And the great thing is when you're talking about a smaller firm than ADP and Paychex, you're really saying, okay, well, what is the technology and the products? Does Jonathan's company actually have the right services that will help us out? And the answer is yes. I mean, we just even launched payroll financing for our customers because of PPP and COVID and things like that going on. So we have the same exact products that you would expect a national company to have, and you're getting that actual dedicated customer service. And we're starting to see a reversion back to hey, I actually need customer service. I mean, that is one of the things that we're hearing from a lot of our prospects, that they're willing to talk to us because the customer service on the larger companies is no more. They've been selling software. We call it software as a service rather than professional services. So we really do take a big direction on professional services with our customers.
Okay, very good. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how should they go about getting in touch with you for trying to get your services and see what you have to offer?
Yeah, the best place I tell them is immediately go to our website, which is payrollservicesllc.com. We built that website as a learning website. There's lots of information about what we do and why it matters and how to explain it. We have a contact form on there. Our phone number is on there as well. Our 800 number is 1-888-929-2729. You can always email me, which is jonp@payrollservicesllc.com as well. But our website is a great resource for even if you just have general questions around COVID, PPP, and things like that as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate you taking your time to be here with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bill.